At Jacaranda Gardens here in Donholm. Raila is scheduled to lead his NASA brigade to a public rally in Donholm Estate. Jeff Kirui now joins us live with those details. Jeff, we're seeing a clear live pictures there of preparations of that rally at Donholm, and a very large and excited crowd there after Raila Odinga was cleared. All right, let's now speak to our reporter Rita Tinina, who has been camping at the KICC since this morning when presidential aspirants arrived there to, of course, give their nomination papers to the IEBC. Rita Tinina now joins us live. Rita, what more can you tell us from the ground?
Well, Michelle, it has been a very busy morning here at the Kenyatta International Convention Center. As you mentioned earlier on, the country now officially has 3 presidential candidates. The first to be cleared was Ekuru Aukot of the Third Way Alliance in the morning, just after 9 a.m. It was a very brief process. After him, Abdu Badida of the Alliance for Real Change then presented his nomination papers, but there are a few issues. One, his education qualification certificates, his degrees, and that of his running mate had not been certified, and his self-declaration form also did not have a stamp from a commissioner of oaths. He was given until 4 p.m. To go and sort that out, but he came back just after the NASA presidential flag bearer had finished presenting his nomination papers, and so he was cleared. So this morning, Ekuru Aukot being cleared, Abdu Badida coming later on, even before the 4 p.m. deadline that he had been given by the IEBC officials. But what has created some activity here, generated a bit of, I would say, political excitement even outside the KICC itself, with supporters waiting to see and hear what will happen, was the arrival of the NASA presidential flag bearer, Raila Odinga, and his running mate, Kalonzo Musyoka. What has been happening here is that for all the 3 presidential aspirants, now candidates, what has been happening is that before their time of appearing before the IEBC officials, the party officials have been coming here bringing the documents that are required. This include their education qualification certificates, their national IDs, their, let's say, the banker's check that is required, 200,000 shillings addressed to the IEBC. Those are some of the requirements that they have been bringing, and which IEBC officials have been going through at a different corner. Behind me, this is where the IEBC commissioners, led by the chairman, are sitting. And so after those documents are cleared, then the presidential candidates then come in. And the issue that has been even previously is the issue of the 2,000 signatures required. Under the law, each presidential aspirant is required to provide 2,000 signatures from 24 counties. That has been one of the issues that even so many of the presidential candidates failed to get the clearance from the IEBC, but those who have presented their papers this morning getting the nod from the IEBC. And the message that has been resounding all through this morning is the issue of free and fair elections. All the 3 candidates saying they hope the elections will be free and fair and that the campaign period will be peaceful. Raila Odinga, in brief comments just after he was handed over his nomination certificate, saying that he hopes the issue of hate speech, that the NCIC will not be used to muzzle campaigns in the guise of hate speech. He says he hopes the elections will be free, transparent, and fair. And he says if they will be free and fair, then he's ready to accept the results, saying that he hopes there won't be a repeat of the 2013 situation when the Code Coalition then had to go to court contesting the results that declared Uhuru Kenyatta the president. So some of those comments, as you mentioned earlier on this afternoon, the NASA presidential flag bearer, his running mate, and the other principals will be addressing a rally. But still one more presidential aspirant this afternoon, and that is Justus Juma, is expected to present his nomination papers here. The IEBC, as of yesterday, had cleared 8 presidential aspirants from the list of initially 18 candidates. And so for today, 4 are presenting their nomination papers. Tomorrow, 4 others will be presenting their nomination papers, including Joseph Nyaga and Uhuru Kenyatta, President Uhuru Kenyatta. But as presidential candidates present their nomination papers here at the KICC, today, senators are also presenting their nomination papers to county returning officers. On the 1st and the 2nd, it will be the turn of governors as well as members of parliament. And on the 30th and 31st, it will be the turn for county women representatives across the country to present their papers also to the county returning officers. And those who have been given the longest duration, 4 days, is for aspirants seeking to join the county assemblies. They will have between today and the 31st to present their nomination papers to returning officers at the county level. So, Michelle, 3 presidential candidates officially so far have been cleared, waiting for one more this afternoon. But as you mentioned, today marks the official start of the campaign period. And some analysts have argued that this is a very high-stakes presidential election, the presidential campaigns, really. For Raila Odinga, he will be hoping to be 4th time lucky. He has given a stab at the presidency 3 times. All the attempts have been unsuccessful. And so this time he will be hoping to be a 4th time lucky. And if he wins the election, remember, he will be a 1-term president. That is according to a power-sharing deal among the NASA coalition leaders. For Uhuru Kenyatta also, it is a high-stakes election based on the fact that he will be seeking to stay in power for another 5 term, because if he loses this election, then he will go into history books as the first president in the country to serve for only 1 term. So Michelle here, still waiting for one more aspirant to come this afternoon to present their nomination papers. Michelle.